What's going on, everybody, and welcome on into episode 272 of the Garage Beers podcast, brought to you proudly here on the OBR streaming network. Remember, the OBR, the oldest and largest Cleveland Browns coverage site in all of Cleveland. Get over to the OBR.com and subscribe to all the best written content, and make sure you hit subscribe and like on YouTube or Twitch to subscribe to everything that the OBR's got going on right now, which is a lot, even though it is a slow time in NFL world as we get ready to ramp up for training camp towards the end of the month. But the OBR, best place for Browns coverage and the best place to hang out with us here on Garage Beers. We're a little bit of the black sheep. We like it that way, where we get to talk about all of our favorite sports, not just the Browns, not just the Cavs, not just the Guardians, the Blue Jackets, the Buckeyes, and everything else going on in the world of sports. That's what we do here on Garage Beers. Get over to our socials and follow us at the Garage Beers everywhere. And we have got an incredible show planned for you. One of the cooler guests that we've had in a long time. That was a long time in the making. We're going to send it off to an interview that Chad and I did with the head coach of the Blue Jackets, Dean Evason, in just a little bit. But man, I can't wait for you guys to watch it. I'm going to stop talking so you guys, just so we can get to it sooner, because Coach Evason is awesome. And he spent over 45 minutes talking with us. You guys are going to love that interview. After the interview, we do have a little bit of Browns news to talk about, so we'll get to that. We'll talk about the Cleveland Guardians and how they've kind of wrapped things up going into the All-Star break, and anything else that comes to mind. So we're glad you're here with us for episode 272. With you, as always, I'm your host, Michael Keefe. Find me online at Garage Beers Mike. And joining me in the garage tonight, my co-host over on the east side of Cleveland. Find him online at Garage Beers Chad. It's Chad Meyer. What's up, Chad?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing so good.
Oh, good. Just great.
Doing great.
Yeah, man. Just a busy, just hot, sweating my nays off type of day. Yeah. Just
not the nays, Chad.
Just out coaching baseball. Hey, someone pass the gold bond.
Are we chafing?
Oh God! Oh Christ! 4 games today. 4 of them.
So much chafage.
Right in a row. It's not good. No, man, but I'm great. I'm great. Got a lot to get to this Evason interview. I'm just going to say it now. I'm not going to save it. I'm not going to save my opinion for afterwards. Mike, and I've texted you this plenty of times. I think it's at least in the top 3 best interviews we've ever done. And I'm so excited for everybody to hear it. I'm not going to waste any more time, though. So let's get to it. Well,
hell yeah.
we got to talk to everybody about our beers, but.
Well, yeah, we got to do our beers. Yeah. Other than that, then we can talk about Coach Dean Evason and the Columbus Blue Jackets. You're going to hear from him. But like Chad said, before we get to that, it's time for us to get into our Garage Beers of the Week. So if you haven't grabbed your beer, grab it now, because you're going to want it as you watch a great interview with Dean Evason. Chad, what is your Garage Beer of the Week this week?
No, it's limited edition. It is a rarity. It is a special gem, and I'm so excited to bring it to you guys. It's Busch Light Lime. It's Busch Light Lime. It's only 10,000 made, I think.
In one case.
In one case, yeah. This is in honor of our friend Drew in Brick City, although he probably wouldn't like this, just because it's not a Busch Heavy. But I'm heading for the mountains of Busch with a little bit of lime, and it's delicious. It is fantastic.
Oh, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer, we gotta. People have to continue to normalize making summer light beers, and I like this lime. I like this lime trend too.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the beer that's named after our podcast. Not really named after our podcast, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's Garage Beers Lime. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
The one that the Great Lakes Brewing Company makes, that Mexican lager with lime in it, is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You can find a lot of beers with lime in it these days.
And Busch Light Lime. Imagine thinking you could go wrong with that.
Hell, it's like, I don't know. Summer beers should be refreshing. Like, I don't need anything heavy like sitting in my stomach. Like if there was like a water version of beers or like a Gatorade version of beers, give me that. Give me that.
Well, listen, I did. I understand what you're saying. I did. I was sitting out on the patio the other night at the Harp Friday night drinking a couple Guinness, which was great. But
yeah. Well, people mistake the darkness of Guinness for it's actually not that heavy.
Well, for sure. But I think people think of like light beers, lime beers, things like that. And I was like, oh, these Guinness are just hitting right. But when you're at the Harp in Cleveland, pretty much anything hits right.
It's just something you have to do, right? It's just something you have to do.
I looked at the waitress. I was like, I'll take a Guinness and a Reuben. And my wife was like, it's July, right? I'm like, yeah, well, bring me my stuff.
Yeah. There's just some things that go with things, right? Like I'm not gonna go to a steakhouse and order pasta.
Oh.
Right? Like no way. Not happening.
All right, so you got the Bud Light Lime. I went down to Cincinnati. Or I'm sorry, Busch Light Lime. I'm sorry.
God, you're getting old.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, right. The memory's going. I went down to Cincinnati. I grabbed the hop variety pack from Rheingeist, and this is the Truth Bomb.
Oh,
Rheingeist Truth Bomb. My lights are acting all weird in here. Or it's like my my camera is acting weird on my computer.
Your influencer light's not influencing.
It's right. This is the Truth Bomb out of Rheingeist, and these IPAs that they make are delicious. There's a couple of them in that pack that are awesome, and this I think is my favorite one. Actually, it was my neighbor that's been out like kind of almost every night, just drinking a couple of these out on the back porch every night, and I was like, I got to get some of those. So
let's go.
Shout out to my neighbor for influencing my decision, but this is great. Oh, yeah. So anyways, those are our beers. Let us know in the comments what you are drinking tonight. And if you're listening to us later or watching us later, you can go to the socials and be like, hey, I haven't seen you try these beers. So why don't you go get these and give them a try, and we'll give you a shout out and we'll do it. But cheers to all of you that are watching or listening. Cheers to you, Chad. And now it's time for us to get into episode 272. And we're going to kick it off with the highlight. We had the tremendous honor of conducting an interview with the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Dean Evason. Again, I always give a shout out to Todd Chirac, the guy that runs communications for the Blue Jackets, because he's always willing to help us out with things. And this was a big pull from Todd. So a big time shout out to Todd. But now we're going to throw it to this interview we did with Dean Evason, talking about the Blue Jackets and NHL and his life and so much more. We hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you back here after this interview. Enjoy, everybody. All right, we are absolutely thrilled right now to be joined by the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, coming up on his 1 year anniversary. 1 year anniversary as the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's Coach Dean Evason. Coach, welcome on into the Garage Beers podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys. Look forward to having a good chat with you boys.
Yeah, looks beautiful down there, man.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man. The weather's been absolutely fantastic, and as you guys know, before we started recording, I absolutely love golf. So just got off the golf course.
What's your home? I mean, you just constantly play Muirfield. Like if I was in your position, I'd be like, yeah, I'm coming in today. I'd just open up a spot for me.
You know what? I'm extremely fortunate. Obviously, Don Waddell and I, because of the McConnell family owning the golf course at Double Eagle, they have generously given us the opportunity to have 2 memberships there for him and myself. So I played Muirfield with one of my assistant coaches. Jared Bowl has a membership out there, so I played there once. Cheap bugger never has taken me out there again. But yeah, no, I play the Double Eagle a lot with the coaching staff and the training staff, and it's absolutely phenomenal. But there's so much golf in this area, as there is up in Cleveland as well. It's one of the wonderful perks of being here in Columbus and in Ohio, obviously.
Were you just chomping at the bit when you were over in Sweden for the World Championships? You're like, guys, can I golf here, or can we just get the tournament over with, or what's the deal?
Honestly, to take a month off, it's wonderful. Clearly, like the whole experience was absolutely fantastic, but to take a month off of golf was extremely difficult. So there is golf courses in Sweden they're supposed to be great, but as you guys I'm sure know, once you get over there and into that whole situation, there's just not a lot of time to do it.
How was that whole experience? Had you ever been to Sweden?
I have. I actually played World Junior there in 1983.
Yeah.
And then I've been there a couple of times. We actually played when I was coaching the Minnesota Wild. We played a little or the 4-game series there against Detroit, Ottawa, and Toronto. So yeah, I mean, I had been there before. It's a beautiful country. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, it ended, poorly for Team Canada, but fantastic for Team USA.
We had to
And
get you back for the Four
yeah,
Nations. We had to get you back.
right. There you go. And you know what? Honestly, the whole situation with Zach Wierenski and him running to the locker room and grabbing Johnny Gaudreau's jersey and putting it on the cup and all that kind of stuff was obviously, exciting to see that whole situation. As negative as it was, how it ended for Team Canada was positive for that outlook as well.
Yeah, that was well, there's been a lot of moments this year where there weren't a lot of dry eyes in the house.
Correct.
Obviously, and that certainly was another one of those moments that was really cool. And we'll talk about some of that in a little bit. But again, Coach mentioned that it was just about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, that you got named as the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets after your tenure with the Wild. And Coach, just your impressions of Columbus coming in, and obviously it's a place you've been before because of your trips here with other teams. Sure. But just your impressions of the organization and the team and the city coming in versus hold on one second. Oh, it's Chad. Sorry, I thought you were waving at me, Chad. I was like, what are you finger waving at me for?
No. My kids are trying to come interrupt, so I was just kind of like, no.
But now that you've been in Columbus for a year, how is it the same, and how's it different than what you were expecting?
I've been asked that a couple of times. It's like, obviously we come in here as a visiting team, and you literally see the hotel, and then you walk over to the rink, and the whole setup at the rink is absolutely fantastic. We've got our practice rink is right in our building. It's amazing. But you don't get an opportunity to see the surrounding area, not only the downtown, but obviously the rural areas and a lot of the meet a lot of the people and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've been real fortunate. I live around the rink here. I live close to the soccer stadium, the baseball stadium, and our nationwide. It's absolutely a fantastic area. Like, we've talked about the golf a little bit, but what I really enjoy is that I don't think a lot of people know. Obviously, you hear about Ohio State and all that's surrounding that and the football team and all that, but it's a wonderful area. Like, there's fantastic theater here. There's great restaurants. Obviously the sporting community, but there's a lot to do. Has a small town feel and small town attitude with a big city presence as well.
Now, you mentioned live theater. A little birdie told us that you're a huge fan of of plays. Are you straight plays? Is it musicals? Like, what where do you come out at on that?
Yeah, I'm into musicals a little bit more.
Okay.
When I go to New York or go to Vegas or honestly anywhere, I usually just throw my bags in the hotel room and I research where to go. And so yeah, I really love the live, not unlike sports, like just the live entertainment value of it. As opposed to sitting in a theater and watching a movie or whatever, which is cool. But I just love to watch somebody else perform. I've had the opportunity, obviously, to be a player, and the pressure of performing and in front of 20,000 or 30,000 people or whatever. But to watch these people do what they do to entertain us is absolutely fantastic. So every opportunity I get, I'm getting out there and doing it. And again, the community here in Columbus has a fantastic. I know Cleveland does as well. Fantastic theater community. So yeah, I'm looking forward to diving a little bit deeper into it here in Ohio as well.
As,
I was just gonna say, I hope they told you that about Cleveland. It's the
Yeah,
largest theater district in the country outside of Broadway. So that's
100,
good
yeah,
shows happening.
100%. Everybody's told me that, and I've been up a few times to some Guardian games, and haven't been to a Cavs game yet, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting diving into and getting to some shows in Cleveland for sure.
has Mrs. Evason ever catch you singing show tunes, or is it?
Well, well, there's no Mrs. Evason,
Right.
so
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. What's going on?
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But well, there has been a Mrs. Evason, or a couple Mrs. Evason. So I mean, I don't want to get too deep into that, but yeah, no, I've actually got a record player sitting behind me that's that I've got several records of a bunch of Les Mis and Phantom, and yeah, no, I'll throw that up when I'm mopping the floors.
This is all we brought you in for, Coach.
That's all we wanted to talk.
Yeah, you guys just want to talk about entertainment stuff.
Yeah.
So mopping floors and records.
You could give us your best Jean Valjean right now. That's what we're looking at. So we're going to bounce back and forth between some hockey and some fun stuff, but go to hockey for a minute. You had your first year with the Jackets, and obviously it starts with tragedy, and then there's triumph, and there's all these great moments that comes out of the tragedy. But I was thinking about it, and I thought, there's probably been years over your career as both a player and a coach where you're really ready for the offseason, and you're ready to kind of reset and recharge, and you need a break. I would imagine kind of the way that this team kind of galvanized over the course of the year. I would imagine you're pretty ready to get back into like full on hockey stuff. I'd imagine you're ready for this to be a fairly quick offseason, especially the way the team ended this year.
Yeah, it's a fantastic point. Like we ended, I think it's 6 games in a row we won. We were, we had a little lull prior to that, and obviously hurt us, missing the playoffs. But yeah, what we've moved forward with, what we've continued to build here in Columbus was exciting. So to answer your question, yes, I mean it would be wonderful just to dive right in, and yes, it's wonderful to play golf. It's wonderful to have the summers, and we can really relax and recharge, and not only for staff, obviously the players as well, because it's a long year. People, I think people realize, obviously, sometimes you get in 3-4 in the morning, whatever, and it's like, so you're constantly on the go. So it's nice to have that relaxation time that we have now. But to your point, yeah, it was the way we ended it. It was bittersweet. Like, sure, we had a good year, and we talked to the players as a coaching staff at the end of the year and just said, like, listen, it's wonderful. We're gonna get some accolades as far as how well we competed, how well we played, and all the adversity that we faced. But end of the day, guys, we didn't make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, our goal is to win the Stanley Cup as an organization, and that's what we wanted to stress to the group when they left. That it's wonderful, but don't have that nice feeling in your mouth. Have that bitter taste in your mouth when we get back to training camp. We're gonna push to get to our ultimate goal, or as close as we possibly can, making steps to get that Stanley Cup.
I'm just gonna ask a quick follow-up, Chad, because this leads right into my next question. It was a perfect transition, Coach. Perfect.
Okay.
I think about this a lot when it comes to the Blue Jackets, very similarly to the way I think about it when it comes to the Cleveland Browns up here in Cleveland. When you join the Blue Jackets, you joined an organization that truly has never really competed for a Stanley Cup. You joined and I'm not trying to put down the Blue Jackets. We love the Blue Jackets, but you joined an organization that for 25 years, we celebrate one playoff victory, one series victory, and that's been the pinnacle in Columbus. So as somebody who's been around the game of hockey your whole life, as somebody who's been around the NHL for a long, long time, what is it sometimes it can feel like there's other forces in play that you have to overcome. That when you have kind of a string of 25 years of really trying to figure it out, what does it take? As somebody that's been around it, what does it take to get over that hump? What does it take to change the culture from, hey, we're going to be excited about a playoff win, to, hey, we're going out there trying to win the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I think it's just the continual communication, continual talk of that it's not good enough, right? It's not like, and I'll be completely honest with you, I don't know, but I haven't made it there, but I know that we're doing the right things to create, as you said, that culture, that atmosphere, that environment that is a winning environment. And now, once all the pieces fall into place, then we have to believe that that's going to be the recipe to win the Stanley Cup. And I know from our ownership with the McConnell family and obviously with Don Waddell and what he's doing in the front office with his guys. And I know for a fact our guys in the coaches room are hungry and driven. And then it filters down obviously to the players. And we've had guys that have been here through those times that you've talked about, not the whole 25 years clearly, but
Right.
Guys that have been through all of it. And yeah, we're hungry for it. The fans are hungry for it. A lot of different pieces, a lot of different things have to fall into place, right, in order to compete for a Stanley Cup. And we think that we're on the right track. I don't think. I know we're on the right track. I know that we have a team that's real close. I know that we have a team that's building that team first mentality, the organization. I know we have a fan base that's hungry for that and passionate for that. And I think, we're making the steps in the right direction. But again, as I said, we're not as close as, we need to be, but we're going to take another step forward starting obviously training camp this year.
Yeah, Coach. And I guess my question to you was like Mike's is kind of similar to Mike's. Obviously the couple of years before you got there, the Jackets struggled a little bit, right? And you came in, and the first thing you preached was accountability, right? Yep. You have to be accountable. The players have to be accountable. The players have to hold each other accountable. And obviously, I think that was a big part in a leap that you guys took this year. But when coming into last year, I don't think it's unfair to say that there weren't very high expectations with the Blue Jackets. And having the season that you did, you're not going to sneak up on anybody this year, right? Yeah. Everybody knows what you're going to bring. And I guess my question is, not that I think you're going to get complacent, but how do you keep from getting complacent? Is it just continuing to preach accountability? Is the intensity? Does the intensity need to get taken up a notch? How do you keep from getting how do you keep from getting complacent?
No, it's a great question. Obviously, when I'm talking about the pieces, and I'll joke at it, Don Waddell and his staff have to give us some players too, right? Which they have, right? Yeah. Like we've made some strides. We've signed people. We've traded for some people. We've got some free agents. We think where we are personnel wise, it's fantastic. But yeah. And again, that meeting that we had at the end of the year was like, guys, it's not good enough, right? That's the key, is that when you look in the mirror as individuals, and I'm not just talking about the players, I'm talking about all of us, is that your point of being accountable, you have to be accountable, like what we're doing here, and we're driven to be the best that we can be and get us to that opportunity to compete for the Stanley Cup. And there's a lot of different things. Like I've been asked a lot of different things, like what's the philosophy and and we talked about it earlier, the culture and all that kind of stuff. All of those things have to, be built upon and brought together and all that kind of stuff, and everything has to fit. But we feel that we're doing the right things. And one of the things is, as you just mentioned, the complacency. We can't be complacent. Why would we possibly be complacent? We didn't make the freaking playoffs. So like, we did nothing last year except, we've taken a step forward, right? I mean, there's a lot of cluster in the last couple of years here with the organization.
Yes.
And you can talk about the coaching and all that kind of stuff, and there's been a lot of different toxic situations here. It's stable now, right? So and that's what Don Waddell and his group has done, and hopefully we've done as a coaching staff, is just solidify, okay, this is where we're at, guys. Now we need to go out and compete hard each and every night and give ourselves a chance to do exactly what we just talked about, and that's compete for a Stanley Cup.
Now I got one more kind of on the same same plane here, Coach. I think a lot of coaching, especially in the NHL, is all about the buy-in, right? And this might be a dumb question, but obviously the players bought into what you were saying this year. I mean, you could see it on their faces. You could see it in the games. As a coach, does it give you a little, maybe a little goosebumps when you see the guys just completely buy in and you see it translate to the ice? Does it kind of give you a little, yes?
Yeah, 100%. And you can talk about, I don't care what systems, like we all as coaches, I don't care what level you're at or what league you're at, you implement a system. And if everyone buys into that system and not just, physically, like how we're going to play in the defensive zone, neutral zone, and offensive zone, it's the mentality of how we want to play each and every night. And when your team buys into that, then you know that you have something. And our leadership group, anytime that you can give your leadership group the room and the ability to teach and lead, you're going to be better off, right? As opposed to telling them, this is what you should do, this is what you do. You put it into place, and then you allow them to have some feedback, and you come up with a system that works for the entire team, right? And that's what I think. Like when I first got here, everyone said, well, your team's super young and it's skilled and this and that. And I said, well, wait a minute. We've got some incredible leaders, some older guys, and that, will lead our hockey club and step forward, like Zach Wierenski, who took a huge step last year, not only on the ice, right? And it's just one example, but how he conducted himself off the ice and within the dressing room and as a leader, it allowed us to take that step forward. So yeah, it does give you, as you said, the goosebumps and stuff, because it's exciting to see the guys come together and compete their asses off to play hard for each other each and every night, and hopefully, have success, obviously moving forward.
Now, we've talked a little bit about intensity, and it's something that you're known for, Coach, is your intensity. I think you've perfected the coach scowl. Actually, we've got a guy that we work with that does kind of our graphics for us, and he said it took a long time to make the graphic for your interview with us because he wanted to find a picture of you smiling, and he searched the internet, and he just couldn't find it. But legend has it about Coach Evason that your tenacity and your intensity, your legendary intensity, comes from your mother. And that is what we've heard. So what I want to know is who's got the better coach scowl? Is it you or your mom?
Oh, my mom scares the shit out of me. if that's what you mean. I said this before. My dad had all the skill. My dad's God now, but he had all the skill. But my mom has all the heart, the desire, the will, the drive, and all that. And yeah, I mean, I've heard that. I mean, yeah, I hope I am intense. I mean, that's what I did. That hopefully allowed me to be half decently successful as a player, and then I've used that as a coach. And a lot of people have asked me, like, when on the bench and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you know coaches are supposed to be just calm and whatever, and I'm like, well, when we score a goal, like, why can't a coach get excited? Like, it drives me crazy. It's like, well, I'm as jacked as the guys are, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, there's sometimes you're like, you got to pull it back, but and and we know that the cameras are always on us, which is what it is. But yeah, it's hard, and yeah, I hope that I coach with that passion. I hope that not only the players, but I know that our coaching staff has that exact desire and that drive and that passion to have success. So yeah, I there's a separation for sure. The players play the game. They're in the arena. They're doing their thing. But there's no reason why us coaches shouldn't have a little bit of fun, and a little bit of excitement when we have success as well.
I love your fire on the bench, man. I do. I mean, in fact, I was watching a couple of clips earlier where people were kind of chirping you a little for throwing punches, like after a goal scored. Have any coaches been hurt in the process of scoring a goal, Coach? Have you been?
No. I honestly, I don't even know why I usually pick the bigger guys. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't want to. Bigger guys. There's nobody that's actually smaller than me, but so yeah, I don't know how that even started, but it's just like, you know what? If you ask, I think if you ask, our assistant coaches and stuff, like, when we go back into the coaches' room or even on the bench, like when we're making eye contact or we're fist bumping, or I punch, Scott Ford, who's this like mountain of a man who I'm never gonna hurt. It's fun, right? I mean, you want to have fun too, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like that's part of it. That's part of the passion. That's part of the drive. That's part of the desire and all that excitement. So we have fun as a coaching staff. We work hard, but we enjoy it as well.
I got to go back to one thing just because it's legendary. Your mom scares the shit out of you. Where's her tenacity? Does her tenacity come from bringing kids up and tell me if I'm getting this right? Bringing up kids in Flin Flon, Manitoba?
I was born in Flin Flon, but Flin Flon, yeah.
Oh.
Bobby Clark is born from Flin Flon. One of my heroes, played obviously for the Flyers, and incredible hockey player. Did everything in the game. But I lived actually 5 hours north of that, place called Thompson, Manitoba, where there wasn't a whole lot to do besides play hockey. And I mean, there wasn't my intensity. Probably my mom was a farmer, so she had the work ethic. She had all of that kind of stuff. So I think she gave me a lot of that grit and tenacity, as we've talked about.
Now, Coach, getting back into the team here for a second, you just had the draft and then you just had development camp. First thing, were your guys' jaws just floored when Jackson fell to you at 14? And second, yeah, obviously, like I said, development camp just happened. What were some things that stuck out to you?
The maturity level of the guys actually stuck out to me. Like, we just, being in the room and meeting with the players. I mean, they're not. It's weird because they're not kids, right, anymore. Like, there's, a few years ago, or a lot of years ago when I first started, they seem like 10, 12 years old. Now they're men, right? They're developed. They're whatever level that they're playing at, whatever league they're playing at, they're developed not only physically but mentally. They're mature. So yeah, our development camp was fantastic. It was run extremely well by our group. So yeah, it was great to meet some of the guys. Get to know a few of them, and look forward to see them at a lot of them at rookie camp, and then hopefully the main camp as well.
Love it. Coach, I'm a guy that believes that a lot of times things happen for a reason. I talked about this last year. You had some triumphs, and man, Chad and I were at that Stadium Series game. We'll ask you about that in a minute, but that was unbelievable. But again, the beginning of it and the beginning of your tenure was marred by tragedy, and obviously the Johnny Gaudreau situation. And man, did you feel like the guy that was supposed to be there? And again, it really felt like the locker room galvanized around themselves. Not that they needed something from you, but as somebody who's dealt with personal tragedy yourself in your own life, it felt like you were the right person to be at least just in the room at the right time there. Just talk about the way the team came together and how they kept Johnny's memory alive and how everything just kind of just spurned from that.
Yeah. No, I'll take it a step further. I think the entire organization, from the McConnell family, as I said, but Don Waddell, and how he handled everything with the calm presence. And allowing everybody to just be open and communicate, right? I mean, that's basically what I tried to do as well, is just allow everybody to have their time, their space. Clearly, it was, I hadn't met 3/4 or of the team prior to, having Johnny's tragedy and then being in that room and everything. So what we did as an entire organization is just allow everybody to have, to handle it on their own time, their own pace, whatever. We offered any kind of support that they wanted, but we stressed that we wanted them to communicate, to be open, and just whatever they need, that they have it. And we didn't not talk about Johnny. We didn't, it's been documented, like his picture stayed up, his locker stayed up. When we were doing video clips for training camp, the coaching staff's like, well, do we take Johnny's clips out of there or do we not? Like, what? And it's like, no, we just go about our business. And we allow Johnny to teach not only us as far as hockey players and coaches and whatever, but like allow him to teach us how to play the game, but most importantly, the passion that he played the game with. And I had only met him once, and it was a few weeks prior. I flew to Philadelphia and had a sit down with him and a couple hours. And what came out is that he just absolutely loved the game. Like he's a rink rat that just wanted to win, wanted to be around his teammates. And that's what we kept stressing to the guys. Like, talk about stories, tell stories, what would Johnny do here? What would he do there? And just his presence was with us and the entire year. And it will be with us as long as I'm a head coach here or here. It'll be, and hopefully for forever. And not only did he touch and have a presence on our team and our city, but the entire, and again, not only the entire hockey world, but the world in general, of how he was not only as a hockey player, but as a human being.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no easy transition out of that, but as far as that team that did get galvanized from it, free agency hit this offseason, and then, a lot was made and about what the Jackets are going to do. What are the Blue Jackets going to do? They have so much money to spend. They have this and that, but you guys end up bringing a lot of your own teammates back, a lot of your own team back. Voronkov just signed. Dante just came back. Ivan just came back. How important were those guys? How important was it to keep those guys? And what did they bring to the table?
Yeah, it's easy to think, and I joked about it earlier, like Don's got to give us these players and stuff. But it's easy to say, go get all these guys and bring them in. But what within your room, the people that we've signed and brought back, they're not only quality hockey players, but we know that they fit into what we are trying to do here, like what the organization is trying to do as far as creating. And again, culture isn't the biggest, but the atmosphere, the team mentality that we've built and have built upon, that was here prior. All these guys that come back, they know what to expect, right? And why we brought them back is because they get exactly what we're trying to do here. So they can, as I mentioned earlier, they can continue to teach the young guys, the free agents or trades or signings or whatever that we bring in. They're the ones that are going to be in that dressing room going, this is how we play. This is what we do. This is how we are accountable each and every night. Not because management or coaches tell us this. This is what we've created as a team within this locker room, and they will make each other accountable each and every night and day. So that's why we brought back a lot of the guys, obviously, that we felt are going to allow us to make that next step forward.
So, Coach, when we talk about the triumph side of things, and I brought it up before, but man, I'm not sure it gets bigger than 90+ thousand people at the Horseshoe at Ohio State watching a hockey game. It was like I don't remember what the temperature was, but it felt like it was negative 40 degrees outside in those stands with the wind whipping like crazy. You're in the middle of this really fun season that you guys had. And again, I love that you talk about that it's not good enough, but it's still okay to admit that it was fun too. It was a fun season. You guys are scoring a bunch of goals. You're playing better than a lot of people pegged you to play. And it culminates with that, really those two games, to be honest with you, those two games against Detroit, because that was the team you were battling with at the time for positioning. And you go to Detroit and you beat them, and you set up that game in Columbus at the Horseshoe. I will tell you, I've been to a lot of sporting events. It's one of the great sporting events that I can ever remember being at. From your perspective as a coach, when you're standing on the bench and you're looking around and you've got a hockey game, you got a coach, and that's the most important thing. But like, how many times were you looking around a little bit, going, "Man, this is great. This is awesome." Yeah,
I've been involved in 3 now. I was with Washington Capitals in Pittsburgh for 1, and then I was in Minnesota, and it was the coldest game. But right. this was the third one. This exceeded everything, and I'll walk you through a little bit. Like, yes, the game was absolutely incredible, right? I mean, we score late, and it's just like looking up and what have. But the whole build up to that game, and okay, we practiced the day before, and families are on the ice and all that kind of stuff. But for me, the biggest thing was we got dropped off on the bus, and Johnny Gaudreau's wife Meredith and her family, they were with us, and they walked us off the bus. And then we had the pep rally in the one, and I wish I knew that state. Let's call the state. And there's like, I don't know how many people, 7, 8, 10,000 people in this pep rally stadium, bands playing. Anyway, we walk on stage and then off stage, and then we make that walk. And I think this is exactly what the football players do, but they walk down to the shoe, and there's 6 people deep on our walk, and it's a long walk, and the players are in front of us, and the coaches, we're all in the back, and it's just like it gives me. You mentioned the goosebumps. It gives me goosebumps now. To think, like, fans are screaming, like they're just like they're going crazy, and then you walk through the tunnel and you walk into this empty stadium and it's just quiet. And it was just the most incredible experience, like that the whole lead up. And then for our players to be calm and prepare and professional and get ready to play after all of that, like we went, I know the coaches and I, we get back there, we're all like we're spent. Like this is freaking incredible, right? Like it was just so that whole lead up, the environment that was created by the football presence, the Ohio State presence, Ohio and Columbus in general. It was absolutely amazing. And then to end it how we ended and to get the win and then to watch, like you said, those like after every goal you look up in the stands and you're looking at 90,000 people going absolutely crazy. It was absolutely incredible.
Is this now? Is the Stadium Series / outdoor game gear like the best thing the NHL puts out? Because it is awesome. Like I'm like 1,000% jealous of the jacket that you had on the bench.
Yeah, right. I know you have no idea how many people want that jacket. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you where it went, but yeah, where it went was a good place.
Oh, I was going to say I smell a charity auction giveaway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, you know what? Honestly, it was all of that. Like, I had family here, obviously, and everybody was just like to have, and clearly just like you said, the gear, the swag or whatever. It was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I mean to wear the toques, you guys call them beanies here in the United States, but they're toques to us. But yeah, I mean the whole environment. I've got this big old picture that's on the wall. It's got the whole thing in the stadium. Like it's just that we'll never forget.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, got a couple more for you. Well, thank you so much for your time. But a couple of fun things I wanted to ask you about. You spent the majority of your NHL career in Hartford playing for the Whalers.
Yeah.
Right. We had one of your old teammates on, Mr. Ron Tugnut, a while back, and I learned that arena was in a mall. How was that a unique experience? Like unlike anything, like, hey, how do I get to the Whalers game? Oh yeah, you can just go past the Sears, you go right down to JCPenney, and there's a Hartford Civic Center. Right.
There's no question the uniqueness of that whole setting. That it was like, and I actually got drafted by the Washington Capitals. I got traded to the Whalers. And then, like you said, I think I played 7+ years there to start my career. And it was, everything was just, there was something just very special, and it's still special. Like, there's still a fan club. I still get, I get so many, fan mail and all that kind of stuff. Like it just, like people absolutely love not only the jersey, the logo, and all that kind of stuff, but they've really embraced the. Remember after we won, we lost in the Adams Division finals to the Montreal Canadiens. We had a parade. We had an actual parade in Hartford for losing in the Adams Division final, right? But that's how passionate the people were, right? It was incredible. So obviously, Hartford wasn't able to win, but it's not unlike here where the passion with the not only Columbus but Ohio has this incredible passion for hockey, right? Like you don't think of Hartford, Connecticut as a hockey place. You don't think of Columbus, Ohio as a hockey place either, but both have this fan base that is just hungry for success. And to have that opportunity to give it, obviously we didn't in Hartford, but to give it here now, hopefully very soon here in Columbus would be absolutely amazing.
You're not joking though. I'm in and out of the Hartford airport a good bit, and it is loaded. Yeah. All the shops, just nothing but Whalers gear everywhere.
I know, and they've been gone for how long, right?
Yeah.
It's like I bought my kids actually a few years ago. I bought them all Hartford Whaler T-shirts and like it's easy to get Hartford Whaler stuff, right? It's like, wait a minute, they've been gone for a while. So, but yeah, it was a special time. My son, our first child was born there. He's like 36 now. Was born in Hartford. I mean, I have special feelings for the Hartford Whalers and the city Hartford for sure.
When Carolina wears the alternate jersey, are you like, no, that's bullshit? No, take those off. No,
I actually do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I'm like, you know what? It's great.
Yeah,
but that's our jersey, man.
Yeah,
not yours.
And I love that it's staying alive, and it's like exciting, and people are still remembering it. But it's like, you know what? Yeah, that's my jersey that's up on the wall.
That doesn't mean anything to Carolina fans. Carolina was never the Whalers. Come on.
There you go. I like that.
What else gonna have some connections still in Carolina? Tell them to make a call. Tell them to knock that off.
Yeah, they might not listen to him anymore.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I want to ask you about, Coach, I read that in your junior days, you were teammates with one Ronnie Hextall. And I'm just going to say it. Was he as big of a Looney Tune back then as he was like in the NHL?
Yeah.
Because on ice, man, he was crazy. Hell of a goalie. But, man, was he you see nothing but some crazy things that was happening with him on the ice.
Yeah, no, him and I are both the exact same age. We're 15 at the time. It's called midget AAA or whatever in Brandon, Manitoba was where we played. We had no business winning the Manitoba championship, but we won it in large part because of Ronnie Hextall. Because he was so phenomenal, and we went to this thing called the Air Canada Cup. It was like Manitoba or Canadian, midget championship. Anyway, to answer your question, yes. If you went down in practice and you took a shot and it zipped him in the shoulder or in the head or whatever, he would literally skate out and swing his stick at you or try to fight you. So you think like I'm passionate in some way or what have you. He took it to another level. His intensity level was absolutely incredible. Obviously, he continued it in the National Hockey League and for the Philadelphia Flyers, which he fit in perfectly. But to answer your question, yes, he was crazy when he was 15 years old as he was when he got to the NHL.
All right, Coach, I'd be bad at interviewing if I didn't ask you the pandering softball question to end things here, which is, you got that fifth line down there in Columbus. You've talked a lot about the fans, the desire the fans have. Talk about the passion that you get, and talk about the way that the fans can affect the game down there at Nationwide Arena and other venues like we saw at the Stadium Series, and just give us a heads up on what we can expect from this upcoming season's Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I didn't even know what the fifth line was, right? I get here and everybody's talking the fifth line, this fifth line. I'm like, what the heck is a fifth line, right? Like, what do you mean? Like, we have four lines and whatever. I think Don Waddell was the first one to say that when he first came to Columbus a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever, at the end of the year, they were out of the playoffs by I don't know how many games. The last game of the year was sold out, the standing ovation. It rolled into the last season. And as I just mentioned, like you don't think of Columbus, Ohio as a hockey passionate city. It is. And I go out in the community and people are just so excited about, last year, but excited about the future. So yeah, there's so many nights that they gave us a jump last year. We had injuries. Obviously, we've talked about Johnny's situation, and just everybody just bought in. And I think it's been like that, but I think it was enhanced last year with everything that went around our hockey team, our organization. So yeah, they give us so much energy. They give us so much life. They're so passionate. It's exciting to obviously coach, but I know the players are excited each and every night that we walk through that tunnel. You see, 5, 6 people deep in warm up. It just gives the guys energy. It jacks them up, and hopefully, as I said earlier, that we can ultimately give them the ultimate prize of winning a Stanley Cup and skating around, with that over our heads.
That quaint little city you love would be burned to the ground because of all this.
It would be unbelievable. We'll bring to Cleveland. We'll bring to Cleveland too, boys.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes,
there you go.
Please do.
Go.
Please do.
I have drank out of the Calder Cup, and so if I could just get a drink out of the Stanley Cup, that'd be awesome.
That would be the ultimate for sure.
Hell yeah.
All right, Coach, this was incredible. Thank you so much for taking as much time as you did with us. A lot of laughs, a lot of great stuff. We're going to let you go so you can prepare for whatever golf round gets stretched out for tomorrow.
Got to play tomorrow.
Yep. But hey, next time you're up in Cleveland, we might not be able to get you on any fancy private courses up here, but we got some real good public ones that I could get a pretty primo tee time for. So you let us know if you want to hit the links up here.
I'm pretty gritty. I'll play wherever.
Yeah, I love it. All right, Coach, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Love what you're doing down there in Columbus, and keep it up. Can't wait to watch the team this year.
Thank you, guys. This has been awesome. Appreciate it.
Big time. Where are we over there? There we are. Big time shout out. Big time shout out to the man behind the bench, the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Dean Evason, for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed that conversation we had with the head man of the Blue Jackets. And man, Chad, just, we did the interview a couple days ago, listening back to it, just so many things that he said and truly meant what I said to him at the end, which is it's hard not to envision this guy just being the exact guy for the job, the right guy for the right time for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And it really feels like with him and Don Waddell running things, there's a lot of bright things in store for the Blue Jackets. And so I think the fifth line has a lot of reason to be excited.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the first thing you want in a front office is two guys that are in lockstep with each other, and Don Waddell and Dean Evason are that. They're that. They're like this. I mean, it's they're going to be making decisions collectively. I'm sure Don has consulted Dean. Dean's consulted Don, and they have this team going in the right direction, and they definitely want to build on what they've done, and hence why they brought back most of their free agents. I mean, it's most of their own free agents. So I know a lot of people are upset that they didn't spend any big money on any big tickets, but it takes two to tango. So if you can't get any big ticket players in here, might as well go with the guys that got you there in the first place. So I'm excited to see how they build on that this season. I'm more than excited to see how they build on what they did last season.
I'm just going to go one more thing. My favorite part about that interview was getting to know the two sides of Dean Evason, because man, his game persona and his hockey coach persona. I told him he's intense. He's got that kind of always intense look.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He looks like kind of an authoritarian dude that runs things that way. And man, we didn't have to start talking to him for about 5 minutes before oh, this is a real funny guy, a real kind of light, easy to talk to funny guy. And that was the best part about that for me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, the many faces, the many sides of Dean Evason, right? You got this big, tough hockey guy who was ready to start fights. I mean, he was like Brad Marchand before Brad Marchand was Brad Marchand. He was just a rat on the ice, And then you turn around and he's playing like a 45 of the Phantom of the Opera in his apartment. So it's just like, it's just that guy is multifaceted.
Maybe keep it up with those Mrs. Evason questions, huh, Chad?
Yeah, sure. The next time we talk, like if we ever get to go golfing with him, I'm gonna give him shit about that.
No, again, big time shout out. Huge thank you to Coach Dean Evason for coming on with us. Shout out to Todd Chirac, who helped orchestrate that whole situation to get Coach on with us. And man, before you know it, we're really going to start talking in depth about the Blue Jackets, the NHL season, and getting ready for what should be a fun season. Again, building upon a team that needed to win every game down the stretch to make the playoffs, and they did. And the problem was it wasn't in their own hands. They needed one more loss by the Montreal Canadiens. They did not get that loss, and they missed the playoffs by just that one, basically a half game, or that one game, I guess I should say. And that was the difference. So huge things to build upon in a season that nobody knew what direction it was going to go. But there's plenty to build on. So can't wait to see what Coach Evason and the rest of the Blue Jackets have in store. So now we got about almost a half hour left on the show here. So let's get into some next topics, Chad. And we're going to start by going to our mid-show breakup segment. We're going to do our asshole of the week, where we just basically call somebody out for being an asshole. And I'll start off, then you can go second, Chad.
Okay.
You know the stories of like people of Walmart?
Okay.
And they're always like ridiculous, like outrageous. The people of Walmart are outrageous. I'd like to present for your consideration on this week's asshole of the week, the people of Costco.
Oh, you had an experience.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a single experience. It wasn't like some guy did something. It wasn't like somebody did something. It just collectively, and I guess I'm part of this. Collectively, when people enter Costco, they lose their ever-loving minds.
It's like Black Friday shoppers.
Oh, like I shouldn't feel like I need a traffic signal to come out of an aisle and like turn left in like one of the main lanes. But like people are like pushing and like it is wild once you get inside Costco. One of my fun things I do with the kids in Costco, right? Like anybody that has kids, what's the fun thing you do with your kids in Costco? You hunt samples, right? Like you look for the good samples and you hunt samples. But there's like adults that are like reaching around, like trying to grab samples, and like it's like Jingle All the Way, the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. When he's trying to get Turbo Man.
Yeah.
It's like that at all times in Costco. It is a wild place. People, again, they lose all their senses, all direction of what it means to be just a normal person. And so my asshole of the week, including myself, I guess, are just people at Costco. That
67 pack of burgers is going to be there, whether you go like are the first person in there or like the 30th person.
Who knew? Who knew that I needed to shove someone out of the way for this pack of chicken breasts?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's they have plenty. So you're gonna be there. It's gonna be fine. I feel the same way about movies, right? Like the people who have to rush there to go see the movies, like opening night. Like I get it, you're excited, but at the same time, the movie's not going to change whether you go see it opening night or you go see it, 3 days later. That's it.
Yeah, I get. That's how I am most of the time. I do guess I understand when people go when they think it's going to be an event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when the movie's going to be like an event in the theater, like it'll be fun in the theater. I get that, but like for the most part, Well, yeah. I don't really ever go to the movies anyways.
Yeah, I miss I grew up going to the theater, man. I loved it so much. Going to the movies.
We go
to
the
movies and the live theater.
We live right by the drive-in, so we go to the drive-in. It's the best.
Like, I don't know. I just, in my mind, I think of the people who like went, like I remember the last time I actually went to a movie on opening night was Pirates of the Caribbean, and everybody was dressed up as a pirate.
Right, like that. Well, that's kind of fun, though.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. All right. Who's your asshole of the week?
Fake people. Just fake people.
And like AI or like?
Nah, I'm talking more specifically like people who feel like they have to keep up with the Joneses. Like I just don't find those people. In a way, I feel bad for them, but it's kind of an asshole thing too that they just don't have their own identity. Like they see their friends like get something brand new, and then they feel like they have to do it better and bigger. So like I've run into a few instances lately that are like that, and I'm just like, it's just do your own thing. Just be you. You don't have to do it, right? Your life's cool on its own. You don't have to do it.
You do you.
Yeah.
I don't really like you all that much, whether you do this other thing or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
I'm
changing
still
my opinion.
not. I'm still going to be mad when you invite me somewhere. I'm still
going to begrudgingly say yes because I feel like I have to.
Even though I want to be home like 20 minutes after I get there.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I know. Everybody, I don't know. I spend so little time. I'm 40. I spend so little time thinking about what other people do at this point. It's nice. I feel like I'm at my favorite part of life right now.
You think so?
I can't imagine. Maybe it's just a me thing, or I don't know. People like me, but I just can't imagine living my life thinking about what other people are doing and judging other people for what they're doing. Like, I don't care what you do. Really?
Yeah, I agree with that. I
can kind of weird. I mean, as long as it's not like over the line, of course. But like, I don't care what lifestyle you live. I don't care where you shop or what you wear or what you do for fun. I don't care. I don't. Yeah. I do not. I'm cool with you, however you want to be. I don't care. It's my favorite. I love it.
There's a lot of shitty things about getting older, but I think the best part about getting older is life gets a lot more simplified.
You're correct.
It really does. I think that's like that towers over a lot of things that are shitty about getting older. Life just gets a lot more simple. Yeah. Break up with everything that you don't need, and concentrate on the things you do, and you're just cheers. Like fucking live life, bro.
I don't give a shit about what anybody else is doing. I'm at the end of the night. I'm getting my little projector. I'm putting the Guardians game on the back of my house. I'm sitting by the fire pit, and I'm drinking beer at night. And and I hope you're having the same kind of night wherever you are, because that's the best way to live life. Anyways,
it really is. It really is.
Chad, let's get into a couple of things.
All right.
First of all, it is All-Star break time for the Cleveland Guardians. Jose Ramirez is skipping the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Kwan will be there. Jose was voted as the starting third baseman, but he said he wanted to take a little time to heal up and get ready for the second half of the season. Let's talk about for a minute, though. Let's talk about it for a minute, the way the Guardians bounced back after a 10-game losing streak. They went on to win 6 of the next 7 games to close out the first half of the season. I know it's shrug-worthy because until they show that they can be like productive for a long amount of time, I know there's a lot of season left, but I do like the fight. I mean, listen, to go down to Houston and play the Astros the way that they did was awesome. I mean, their pitching staff was unbelievable in that series. And in the one game where the pitching staff wasn't unbelievable, the offense actually came around. And then they go to Chicago and they take 3 out of 4, and they should have taken all 4, except for, man, oh man, that game they lost in Chicago. They desperately wanted to lose that game. That's what it felt like. But I do think it gives me a little hope. I don't know how much hope, because I don't think these guys are magically just going to – I don't think Austin Hedges is magically going to know how to hit the ball all of a sudden. I don't think Will Wilson is going to be an answer anywhere. You know what I mean? I don't think some of these guys that are not good are all of a sudden going to be good. But does give me a little hope for the way that they didn't fold after a terrible part of the season, and they went on the road and won 6 of 7 games going into the break. Like, it gives me a little hope that we maybe could have a little fun the second half of this season.
I have so many positive and negative thoughts about the Guardians right now that I have to get off my chest. Right?
I don't know what thoughts I have.
Yes, I love the bounce back, right? 6 of 7. How could you not love them going to Houston and sweeping the Astros, the team that's been playing the best baseball since June 1st? How could you not love that? And then you expected them to go into Chicago and take those, because if there's one thing the Guardians have done, regardless of how good or how bad they're playing over the last few years, that's they've beaten the teams that they're supposed to beat. They're supposed to beat the White Sox. They're supposed to take 3 out of 4 from the White Sox. The Guardians aren't a great team. They're not a bad team. They're a fine team, right? They're a fine team. Don't try to sell me. And here's why I'm sort of like, yes, okay. Let me say, there's a lot of fun baseball about to be had this second half of the season for the Guardians, right? Don't try to sell me on the fact that they're contenders, because they're not. They're not going to win the World Series this year. But I have a huge feeling that there's going to be a lot of fun baseball to be played here in the second half. Why? There's only 22 games left on the Guardians' schedule this season, the rest of the season, where they're facing teams above 500, that are above 500. You are totally muted.
I'm not talking to you. Go ahead. Keep going. Sorry, somebody's knocking at the door back here.
Gotcha. That there are 22 games left in the rest of the regular season that they face teams above 500. So this team's about to go on a massive run. So, like I said, I mean, and that's the reason why they're supposed to do that, is because they're supposed to beat teams like this. They're supposed to beat teams that are 500 or below, because they're good enough to do that.
Right.
But I'm not going to be able to handle the fact of people trying to claim that they're a contender for the World Series. But I have a feeling this is going to be a nice run, and this is going to be a lot of fun baseball to watch the rest of the way. Strictly due in part to I have a strong feeling that they're going to win a lot of baseball games over the second half of the season. Oh my God, my vein is, look at this.
Oh my God, yeah, you're so amped up about it.
I feel so passionate about this.
I think there's going to be good baseball.
I feel so passionate about this take.
These games are going to be amazing.
Oh!
No, I hope so. I hope you're right. Again, the offense as it is could also lose to a lot of these teams that they're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
And now I'm back to, we got to that kind of tipping point where they were 40-48. They're 8 games under 500. Then now at that point, after they lost those horrible losses against Detroit.
Yeah.
I was at the point where I was like, well, you know what? Now I feel like I can't kill him for not bringing up Chase DeLauter and Kafis and those guys, because now I don't want those guys coming up and being part of like a bummer of a season. Like, I'd rather just stay down there and we'll see you next year, I guess.
Yeah.
How they go on this run? 6 or 7. So what? 46 and 49 going into the break. Not great, but again, a much easier schedule on the back half. Now I'm back on the scream train, being like, get help in this offense. It's driving me crazy the way people are talking about this. Every time you bring this up and you get like the Guardians apologist, they say things like, well, you can't go get a guy like Chase DeLauter and expect him to be your hero. I'm not. He can be the 7 hitter. He's going to be better than what they have now. I'm expecting him to improve. Hey, Hazel. Oh, Hazel and Flex. There they are. Tell that kid to put some clothes on.
No. He wants to show his guns. Flex for him.
Right.
No, I don't.
Flex for him. Flex.
No, I don't.
All right, get out of here.
I will.
Bam, guns. Now
Okay, get out of here, you hooligans.
You're a hooligan.
I don't.
How long do I go to bed?
I don't expect these guys to be carrying the offense. I just expect them to be a little better. I expect Chase DeLauter to be better than what Nolan Jones has given them. I expect CJ Kafis to be a little bit better than what they're getting wherever. Like, that's the thing that they're getting me with, is it's not about me thinking these guys are going to come in and be like all-star level players right away. I just think they're going to be better than what's going out there now, and I think that's going to improve the lineup. I don't know why people get all worked up about that. Like, it's okay to compete. It's okay to bring your best players up and compete and get rid of the dead weight. It's okay.
I'll never understand them not making moves towards a championship, right? They're kind of like the Browns in that sense, except fortunately for them, their decisions that they've made while they think they're smarter than everybody else has worked out more times than not. But right now, it's like when you clearly have the offensive players down in AAA that could help this big club right now, and at least, especially when they can help you on the stretch run to score more runs to provide a spark to the offense. Why not? Like, I get it. I get the way you operate, but I'll never understand not at least doing your version of going and trying to win a championship, because that's what you need.
Well,
that should be your sole purpose. That should be 1A to own a sports franchise, win a championship. 1B, make money. Sure, make money. Obviously, it's a business. You got to make money. 1A though should be win a championship. It's ridiculous. But
once again, for the apologist crowd, we talked about this last week, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. But somebody, I'm happy to have somebody prove to me that Paul Dolan gives a shit. I'm happy to have somebody show me that. I'm happy to have somebody show me what you can't say. Well, look, they were in the ALCS last year. That's not Paul Dolan giving a shit about whether they win or not. Actually, it's the opposite, because then look what they did this offseason after the ALCS. And an owner that was desperate to win a World Series would have been like, okay, we were just a few wins away from a title. We're going to go get it. Just like any other year where they've been close. And that's not what happened. That's not what happened. It was, well, that was fun. It is the mentality of the Guardians. And Paul Dolan has said, this is why they don't let Paul Dolan talk anymore. He said it. The way we're going to operate, we should be able to contend, every 5 years or so. Oh, cool. So, and that's it. I honestly think there was probably a conversation with Paul Dolan where he was like, well, that was great. We contended last year. All right. Well, catch you again in 5 years. Like, there's no desire. There's no desire to win a World Series. And then they wonder and they start shifting blame. Like, why can't we sell out these games? Where'd all those fans go that sold out 455 games? And why can't we get more fans? And even though last year they had over 2 million people come in, it's because you don't get 1 ounce of desire displayed from the main person that needs to display a desire in baseball to win. And that's it. That's it. That's what we got. That's what we got.
When it comes to that, they're just so tone deaf. Because what's the one thing that fans want? What's the one thing that fans want?
To win?
A championship. Yeah. A championship.
Right.
Right? I don't give a shit about Melt being there. I don't give a shit about
I do like the fun.
Brew Kettle being there.
I like that.
Sure. I love that too. But if I could just get rid of all of that and get just one World Series championship, I would just give me all the dollar dog nights you want. I don't care about any of that stuff.
Hey, Dolan, how much is this property at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario costing you? Why don't we sell this thing? You guys can play all the rest of your games at Rocky River High School, and let's put that money into payroll and see what happens.
Yes. Jesus Christ. Like, oh, hey, this is great. We got Dante's in here. They're going to make pizzas. Oh, yeah, how many games you win last year?
I mean, those two things are so different. But I get what you're saying. And again, we talked about this last week, and it's just this year is such a glaring example of why this matters and why you can't just say, oh, but they're competitive every year. Oh, they've won a lot of regular season games. Okay, cool. Hang the banner for regular season games like the Nashville Predators do. And then we're still going to be the team with the longest drought to never win a title since 1948. And until there's a little bit of a mind change for some of these people that are like, well, they're limited. Again, I said it when we did the show with Jordan Zerm last week. Don't tell me about their market size. It doesn't matter. They have the same market size as San Diego. They have a bigger market size than St. Louis. Don't tell me that because of the market size, they can't compete. Their owner is worth billions of dollars. They can compete. They just don't want to. That's all.
Jose deserves better. Quan deserves better. Hell, even Antonetti and Chernoff deserve better.
Oh, my God.
The way these guys...
Imagine.
The way these guys are just hamstrung, they deserve so much better than what their owner gives them.
Could you imagine... I love that people want to give flowers to the front office. I'm with them. I agree. Let's give them their flowers. Could you imagine what these guys could do with like a decent payroll? That'd be amazing. Again, we hit on this all. I will say this though, as we plow through July here and get ready to get towards the trade deadline, there's kind of this new thing that I'm thinking of. So we talked about it a lot last week. Players that we kind of expect to get traded. Carlos Santana. I don't know. Maybe they don't. But Carlos Santana. If anybody will take Lane Thomas. we talked a lot about Emmanuel Clase. I'm now firmly in the I think they should just trade Emmanuel Clase camp because I think they can actually he's the guy they can get something for.
Yeah.
And I love him, and I don't mean that I don't like him, but I think they should trade him. But there's another name that's surfaced that people are really not going to like, but it's Stephen Kwan. And part of this, and I think they need to be transparent about this. There's been plenty of reports now that have come out lately that it sounds like Stephen Kwan's out when he can be.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's not necessarily a Guardians decision, but that's a Stephen Kwan decision. There's always been these little murmurs and rumblings that Stephen Kwan may want to get back out to the West Coast because he loves it out there and that's where he's from and he wants to get closer to home and all that. And listen, that's the stuff you can't blame people for. It is what it is.
Nope.
But if there's these murmurs, there's these reports that have come out that the Guardians have made him some offers, some extension offers, and he's not even they're not even acknowledging them. Basically, it's just like, no, when we can get out of here, we're going to get out of here. I'll say this, and they should find a way to do it without making Stephen Kwan seem like a villain, because there's nothing wrong with wanting to live somewhere. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be in a different place because you're from there or whatever. But if he's not even acknowledging or listening to these extension offers, if his team knows hey, when he can get out of here, he's going to go, it's okay.
Yeah.
You could make a small fortune for this dude. I don't want to see him go. Don't get me wrong. But this to me is a situation where it's not like cheapo Dolan's got to get rid of Stephen Kwan. This to me is if he doesn't want to be in Cleveland, which again, I don't fault him for. If he wants to go home, send him home.
Send him home. Go home, Ball. Send him home.
Run home, Jack.
Send him home.
Run home, Jack.
His bags are packed. Just run. Send him home.
Chad. Oh, go ahead.
No. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, so just to wrap up Guardians, because we got into an ownership thing that I don't really want to get into there. But, you talked a little bit about you think the second half's going to be fun based on the schedule and all that. So why don't you talk to me about it? What's your prediction for the second half? How does this season end up for the Cleveland Guardians? Again, they go into the break 46-49, I believe, is the record at the break. A 10-game losing streak, a terrible stretch right before the break, but then just this magical bounce back. What's the prediction? How's this season end for the Guards?
I think they're going to end, after looking at the schedule in the second half, I think they're going to end, if not in a wild card spot, at least in contention for a wild card spot, right down to the very end. Just because, like I said, I think there's a lot of. They're going to win a lot of games this second half, and I think they're going to be right there.
I think if they stick with this lineup, then they're not. I think they'll eventually fall off. I think there's other wild card contending teams that are look at the Royals.
Sure.
By calling up their best players from the minors, look at the Royals. They look like a much different team now. They look like a much tougher team now.
Yeah.
So I do think some teams that are going to be close to them are going to get better, and if they're going to refuse to do that, then they're going to fall off.
Yeah.
But if they acknowledge hey, we can try to contend for a playoff spot this year, and they make some smart moves to make them better this year, I'm with you. I still think they can very much be a playoff team. We'll see what happens with Luis Ortiz. We'll see what happens if Tanner Bybee can kind of find himself. We'll see if Shane Bieber can ever roll around into the rotation. There's a lot of question marks. If none of that happens, if none of the good stuff happens for the Guardians, forget it. They're going to fall off. They're not going to be really in contention. But if they can get some of that good stuff, if they can get a little good mojo going, I agree with you. And it should be a fun second half. Last thing that I want to talk about before we get out of here, Chad. Let's go to the Browns for a minute.
This fucking team.
It's just not an off season without something that hits your phone, Chad. And for those of you that are listening, I'll say it out loud. It's just not a Browns off season without something happening where you get a notification on your phone that makes you just droop your head down and just shake your head like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So we've now had our moment. We've now had our moment. The Cleveland Browns, with their first pick of the second round in this year's draft, second pick of the second round, I don't know, it was 36. They took Quinshon Judkins, the running back out of Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were excited. Some people questioned whether they should have taken the other running back out of Ohio State. Some people questioned what that meant for Nick Chubb, and we ultimately saw what that meant for Nick Chubb. But ultimately, I think a lot of people got excited about it because Quinshon Judkins a hell of a talent, a hell of a player. And then news breaks that I came across my phone, made my head go down, I had to shake my head. Quinshon Judkins arrested for assault. And some more stuff has come out about this. But the fact of the matter is he was arrested. And maybe the person didn't report it for a few days, and maybe this, maybe that, and maybe until some more news comes out, maybe we're not going to know. But like, can we not? Can we just not? Can you not? Can we not? Did nobody listen when somebody said keep your hands to yourself? Like, did nobody listen to like simple instructions of just like, hey, don't touch somebody and you won't have to deal with all this. Just walk away. And yet here we are again. And again, we don't know the full details. Don't know exactly what happened. This could all get cleared in some way, shape, or form, or the story could change in some way, shape, or form. But it doesn't change the fact that like we continue to have these men on this team that put themselves in these positions to even allow somebody to suspect them of battery and assault and stuff like this. Like, what are we doing? Like, how does this keep happening?
Well, it's Dylan Sampson season. No,
right.
I listen, I'm always a big proponent of waiting till the full details come out before I make judgments on this kind of
100%.
stuff. But just the fact that they keep running into this stuff where guys just continually to put themselves in these situations. I don't get it. Like, I realize everybody comes from all sorts of different backgrounds, and you've been raised differently. You've been led down a right or a wrong path. And I cannot wrap my head around guys, like, not even just on the Browns, just guys who put themselves in these situations. I like you've made it. Like you've made it. You're in the NFL. You've got millions on the way, right? You're getting your payday, and all you have to do is perform on the field. And your one job off the field, your one job is to not be a moron. Live your life, have fun, do whatever you want, but your one job in life is just to not be a moron, and you are set. Generational wealth on the way for you, your future kids, your family, everybody. But there's guys out there that just can't stay away from it, and I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And again, it's because I don't know. I had a pretty decent childhood growing up. I did, but like I cannot. To me, it's just simple. Mind blown. It's just simple. You go to work, you play football, you practice football, you might go hang out with your friends, grab a bite to eat afterwards, you go home and just play video games, I don't know, until you fall asleep. Study or play. Like, it's just I don't know. You gotta be smarter than that. You gotta be smarter than this. And it's not that hard to me.
No, like I said, details will come out, and it's either going to make Quinshon Judkins look really bad, or it's going to make this situation look like maybe it wasn't as bad as it sounded up front, and we'll judge it as that happened. But again, the fact of the matter remains, how many of us live our lives, just regular, normal, day-to-day lives, where nobody could even accuse me of assault?
Yeah.
No, the police would show up and be like, yeah, there's zero evidence of assault or battery here. Like,
yeah.
That's the way that a lot of people live their lives, is like, I'm not put in a situation where I don't have to worry about somebody accusing me of assault and battery. And listen, I know a lot of people, I know the group of people that'll be like, well, when you have money and when you have this and that, and it's different. And yeah, maybe you could run into a situation, but like in reality, if you do nothing. If you're just harmless and you live your life and you leave people alone, and even if some accusation happens or whatever, like it's gonna be so apparent that you didn't do that.
Right.
It's going to be very rare that somebody that didn't get involved in like a situation like that is going to be like arrested for it.
Yeah.
And so these people just don't put yourself in the situation. Just you see it with athletes and people that find this and again, people get raised differently or whatever, but like keep your hands to yourself and don't put yourself in a situation where somebody could say that you could do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's been 3 years in a row now for the Browns. And that's not including like previous years before that.
Yeah. There's simple rules in life that are just givens. And
it's almost like going back to kindergarten.
Yeah.
Keep your hands to yourself. Just do the basics.
Right.
You just got drafted in the NFL. Do the basics. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't do anything stupid yet. Earn the whole goal of somebody that gets drafted in the NFL should be earn that next contract. And don't get me wrong, don't go assault anybody, but like earn that second contract and then like maybe cut loose a little bit. That's fine. Earn that next deal. Prove that you're worthy of being that NFL player.
Be a good person. It's not that hard.
Just be a good person. I agree. Good people. Good persons.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. We are just coming up to the end of it. So let's do our cheers of the week, and then let's get out of here for this week for episode 272. And Chad, I'll let you kick things off. Who is your cheer of the week this week?
My cheers of the week goes to Long Lost Family.
Hey.
I had something really cool happen last night. So my brother, who has passed away, he passed away. It's gonna be 7 years this December. So a lot of people don't really know this, but he had a kid with a girl back in high school that they gave up for adoption immediately. His name was Christopher, and they gave him up for adoption immediately. Well, and I have not heard or seen hide nor hair of this kid for 31 years. 31 years is when it happened. I remember I was 11 years old. I walked in from, I think, a friend's house. My mom and dad were sitting on one end of the dining room table. My brother and this girl were sitting on the other end, just crying their eyes out. I was like, oh, shit, I better go upstairs and eavesdrop and listen. The girl he had the baby with contacted me last night and said she found Christopher. And he goes by Robbie now. And she reached out to him. She found him on Facebook. She found him through a search angel. I don't know what that is. Through a search angel. And she gave me all the details. And he goes by, his name's Robbie, and the guy gave me his last name. I stalked his Facebook last night, and holy shit, I got scared a little bit because he kind of looks a lot like me too.
Oh no!
I wasn't doing any of that business at 11 years old though, so I know it's not me. But and I reached out to him today because I'm sure he has questions, and I sent kind of a no pressure message to him being like, hey, listen, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out in any way that feels comfortable. And yeah, man, I found the moral of the story, long lost family. I found my long lost nephew.
Ah, that's cool. That's really cool. And what a connection to your brother too. And if that pans out,
yeah,
that's really cool.
So I hope to hear from him, but it's either way, it's still like awesome to just know that, like, to see him, like see pictures of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool. All right, good one. That's a good one. Mine's going to be kind of stupid, but man, I love this, and I hope there's more of it. My cheer of the week goes to Naquan Tomlin. If you remember,
that's not a real name.
It is Naquan Tomlin. He played a little bit for the Cavaliers this last year, but man, he is doing some things in the summer league. I think he's like the second leading scorer in summer league right now. But last week he played a game, and this is why I have no hopes for this guy to be like a big time contributor in the NBA. But he like put up this monster stat line. Like he had like 30 some points and he was like shooting lights out. And like, he's an offensive load, man. He showed it even in a little time with the Cavaliers. Dude is a bear offensively. But he almost had a triple-double. He almost had a triple-double with, I think it was points, rebounds, and fouls. In the summer league, they don't foul you out. So Naquan Tomlin finished with 8 fouls in the game, including, and again, who cares? It doesn't matter whether you win or lose summer league games. But
right.
They were playing Indiana. They had a big lead, and he had the foul that wound up winning the game for Indiana, sending them to the free throw line for game-winning free throws. 8th foul of the game. Just one of the great stat lines of all time. And I want to see more wild summer league stat lines now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because knowing these guys can go out and just hack, and there's no repercussion for it, I think it's freaking hilarious. So I'm cheersing Naquan Tomlin for 8 fouls in a game. I hope he does it more. Although in reality, because I do think he's a really special, gifted offensive player, I hope to God he figures out how to play a little bit of defense so that he can actually stay on the court and he might actually have a shot in the NBA. That remains to be seen. But in the meantime, I'll be checking that stat line after all these summer league games.
At least defense without fouling as much.
Correct. Well, yes, correct.
Yeah, right.
You can't. Well, you can't do that.
Right. Right.
All right, Chad, that's going to do it for us for episode 272 this week. Last order of business, just to give out our thank yous. Our first thank you goes out to our special guest, the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Dean Evason. What an interview that was. Hope you really enjoyed it. Hope you had a great time getting to know all the sides. Again, like we talked about before, the many faces of Dean Evason, as we had a blast getting to know him and talking to him as well. Also, shout out again, as I said many times, Todd Chirac with the Blue Jackets for helping to hook that up. We love the Columbus Blue Jackets and cannot wait for that season to get going. Our next thank you and cheers goes out to the OBR for hosting us, the Orange and Brown Report, the oldest and largest Cleveland Browns site that also lets us come have some beers and talk about other sports in all of Cleveland. Get over to the OBR.com and hit subscribe and make sure you are subscribed to the OBR's YouTube, Twitch channels, all that kind of stuff. Get over to the socials, hit follow. Everything OBR you don't want to miss, especially as we get closer and closer to training camp for the Cleveland Browns. Our last thank you, as always, goes out to all of you, whether you joined us on the live stream at 9 o'clock here, or whether you're listening to us later on Apple or Spotify or iHeart, or whether you're watching us later on YouTube or Twitch. We appreciate you. We thank you. We always love your support. Shout out to you, and thanks for joining in. That's going to do it for episode 272 for Joey Whalen, who wasn't able to make it this week, but go follow him anyways at Garage Beers Joe. For Chad Meyer over on the east side of Cleveland at Garage Beers Chad, I am Michael Keefe at Garage Beers Mike. Go follow the show at The Garage Beers on the socials, and we'll see you next week for episode 273. Until then, cheers, everybody.